Mike's
John.
job? Where's Uncle Mike at? Speaking of predators. Kidding.
Just saying.
There you go.
Oh man.
Hi, boys and girls. Guess what it's time for? The Mardox DLC Daily Live Chat, starring your queen, Coach Belinda Condell.
Why is Belinda doing this?
Because I can.
Because John.
And then we have your abnormal and ever
John has a debt to pay.
lively and sometimes awkward and disturbing host, Nelson, pass the buck. Then we have the all-knowing and educational John, let me brew your tea and beer, equally brewer. And then we have the wondrous and far from thinking Josh.
I'm sorry.
And now, without further ado, here's Nelson.
I apologize, everybody. I really do. I really tried hard not to get Belinda on today. I'm sorry. I made all those promises.
I had the key.
Yeah, she's got the key. We're going to password protect Zoom. Only I get the password. Hi, John. Hello, John. How are you today, John?
Doing okay.
Doing okay? Tired.
Lots of today.
Yeah.
It was a long day.
We don't want to hear about it. We're just asking politely, how are you doing?
I know.
But beyond that point, nobody really cares, you know?
Yeah, I know. Explain that to a student today.
Hey, do that.
You what? You did it? You slapped a student?
Explained it.
Oh, sorry.
No, that's not right either. Now I'm looking at my dog's bed and my bare naked legs. There we go. Hey, yeah, there you go. You get to see the tape for the flies behind me. Yeah, we got a fly problem here around this time of year. It gets bad for flies. Why can't I get my camera just right? There, that's where it goes. And there's the eyes in the darkness back there. If you do that, try it sometime. Hi, how you doing? Oh, I'm doing fine. Yeah, my kids went to school. And you know, the person goes on and on and on and on about all this stuff. And watch how you feel. As I don't care.
Yeah.
I really don't care. I'm just asking how you're doing.
We talked about that in class today.
Yeah.
Because we were talking about stuff like that, and because one person, he said he's not, because he said he was on a call, and the person asked he was caught off guard because the person asked how you doing, and he wasn't sure if the person.
Seriously, dude, mute yourself if you're gonna freaking clear your throat. It sounds gross.
He wasn't sure if the person really wanted to know, or was just being courteous. And I said they didn't want to know. They were just being courteous, you know.
Yeah.
And,
yeah.
Yeah.
I hate it when people walk up to me, hey, how you doing? And they start talking about their life, and I'm like, I don't know how to tell them. I don't really care. I'm being polite, going and if you say anything, it prolongs it, and I don't care about it. I just
the other guys in the class said, yeah, you should have told them everything about how your sicknesses and this and that and the other thing. They would never call you again.
Yeah.
When I didn't like somebody and they asked me how I was doing, I purposely would give them a whole life story just to do that to them.
I'm not asking, but John, ask me how I'm doing today.
Hey, Nelson, how you doing today?
I'm doing great today. I'm no longer going to be homeless.
Cool.
Snap.
Did we get that taken care of?
Yes, we did.
I was thinking about you today.
Yeah, is Nelson going to be on the show, or is he going to be... This is Nelson coming to you from a cardboard box on a corner street. I never want to experience that again. And I've got a bunch
what did you do? I must have missed that one.
Yeah, no, nobody really knows. It's a me and John. I think Belinda has a hint at it, but I know it's a me and John thing we talked about yesterday.
Must have been the wife coming after you.
No, it was worse than that.
I already know.
Yeah, but all to say.
Oh, that's right. I remember that's okay. Never mind.
Yeah, okay, now you know. Yeah.
Yeah, I remember yesterday's chat. I forgot about that.
Yeah, needless to say, we do not need to buy a cardboard box.
This is good.
They're bloody expensive, you know that, especially downtown.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you gotta fight blood and nails to get those places.
Really?
And I joke.
You pay for it with an arm and a leg, so no big deal.
I joke about it, but when I was 20 years old, remember, I was really homeless on the streets of San Diego, And,
I remember you telling me.
Yeah, and I know what it's like when you find a bench to sleep on, and you try to get some Z's, and another guy's drunk shows up. Man, you're in my spot. Like, oh man, I'm just trying to sleep, you know. And these people will beat the crap out of you because you took their spot.
Yeah.
You know, it's bad. Josh knows about it because he's in Chicago. He knows about that situation.
I don't know about it from first-hand experience, though. Actually, I can take it back. I when I was in law enforcement, I used to have to remove some of the drunks and homeless people, unfortunately.
Well, let's make it clear. Not all homeless are drugs and drug pushers. And
no, you know, I agree.
I hate it because the one fond memory I have was, "Excuse me, do you have 25 cents so I can buy an apple?" And the response I got was, "Go fuck yourself and get a job, you bum." That's what the phrase I got. I'm not making it up to swear on stream, but exactly what was said to me.
I believe it.
And I said, it's only 25 cents. The apple's 50. I already had 25 cents. I just want to eat a freaking apple, you know. Yeah. And I was starving, you know, I hadn't eaten for like 2 days, and I didn't want to steal anything, you know. I didn't want to go to jail or anything. And the thing is, people automatically assume that if you're begging, you're poor, you're an addict, you're a boozer, you know. You're a criminal.
Up here, they don't.
Oh no.
Hell no, man. We sit there and thinking, shit, this guy's making $100,000 a year, sitting on the corner begging for stuff, thinking that he's homeless. This guy's probably drove there in a freaking Mercedes, more than likely.
My wife and I felt so ashamed.
That's how it really is nowadays here.
I felt so ashamed when this happened. The guy came up to me and said, "Sorry, excuse me, I just got kicked out of my place. I'm trying to raise a few dollars so I can get a new apartment. You know, I'm down on my luck." I said, "Well, how much do you need?" And he goes, "Well, as much as you can." So I pull out $2.50 out of my pocket. I gave it to him. And I say, "Make sure it goes to a good cause." My wife and I continued on. The next day, we came back to the same place, and the same guy, same thing he's saying. "I'm broke, I got no money." And it's just a story that he says, and he comes up to me and says the same thing. I asked him, "Do you realize I just gave you money yesterday?" He goes, "Oh, I don't look to see who gives me money." Oh, snap.
You're kidding.
No, that's all this guy does. He just goes around. My wife told me, "I told you so." That's all he does. That's his business. He convinces people to give him cash, like Josh says. And, you know, they go home and they go, "Oh, look, hey, I made $400 today."
Yeah.
Yep.
You know, a day.
I know.
A day.
I know.
Yeah. That's why people, you know, they don't want to give to homeless folks.
Although I'll tell you the best ones I've seen, though, there was one lady that was arrested. They showed on YouTube where she was getting a shit ton of money, man. She was she had this thing, fake stomach, and she was pretending she was pregnant on homeless, and she was getting a killing. But the best ones I've seen are the smart homeless people, man. These guys make a shit ton of money. They'll pit people against people.
Yeah.
So what they'll do is they'll put out two cups. Who gives more, Democrats or Republicans?
Yeah.
No, really?
Yeah, or who's more generous, cat owners or dog owners? Yeah. And they'll freaking pit against each other. So all people will start. They don't want to lose, so they freaking start donating like crazy. It's a smart move, man.
I guess homelessness has become an industry in on itself.
Yeah.
You know, I got a question though. We have homeless.
That's pretty damn smart on their part to do that, though.
We have so-called bums here in Sherbrooke. You see them, they're going around, but I've never seen them just laying on the street. When you go downtown Sherbrooke, there's no cardboard boxes, nobody laying around on the street at night. There's none of that. So all of our homeless have homes. And the reason for that is the Quebec law states if you want welfare, you have to have an actual verifiable address.
Okay.
Somebody has to be able to show up and say, "I got to see you living here." At any point, so they all have homes.
Well, I think you wouldn't have homeless. There's another reason you got to have homes up there. If you were homeless, you would only be homeless 1 year. You'd freeze to death after that year.
No, I guess cold. Like last winter, it hit -40, and the winter before that was -35 Celsius.
Yeah, they'd be picking up a popsicle.
Yeah, that's it. Oh yeah, no, Montreal has more of a problem than we do here. Toronto has a big problem with that. Calgary. But Sherbrooke.
Picking up the popsicles, you mean?
Yeah, that's it. No, there are people that by the next day they die of being frozen. You know, but they're mule-headed because there's lots of place for them to go to. There's a whole bunch of options, and they're just I don't want to go do that, you know. And some of them just want to live that way. There's one guy. There's a whole documentary on it. He won $1 million. He spent a year living on $1 million, and by the end of that year, he had done full circle and came right back to where he was. But he was more comfortable where he was on the street than having the luxury.
Really?
Yeah. And it's one of the concepts is if you throw money at somebody, they're going to come back to where they're comfortable, as opposed to somebody who earns it as he goes and adapts to it, and that's where the comfort zone is. But then a person who has $1 million in his pocket, you throw 10 million at him, he'll fall back over time back to $1 million. It's where we're comfortable. Like you and me, John, are always going to be broke.
Yeah.
I would be happy as hell with several $1 million.
What would you do with it?
What would I do with it? Well, the first thing I'd do is pay off the debt.
Okay, your debt's paid off. Then what?
Then I'd buy someplace cheap and affordable, and then I'd just sit there and live on the rest and let the rest let me retire.
Yeah, ideally, yeah, that would work. But we all fall victim to, oh yeah, I want that, and I want that, and I want that. Yeah.
See, the problem is I had that, and I lost a lot of that stuff, so that's why I wouldn't want it back.
No. I mean, I had this. Hello.
Yeah, I think it also depends on what you've done in the past, and if you screwed yourself in the past, you learn from your lessons.
Hey, you antisocial piece of. Wait a minute. Hello, Greg.
Hello.
Hey, Greg.
Hello. This
Hey,
is Greg coming at you from a blank screen.
I mean,
you have an image.
We were talking, Greg, about homelessness. And how do you feel about these people that are asking for money? And we know a lot of them are not necessarily drug addicts and alcoholics, but that they're making a living off being homeless.
Yeah, man, they're rich as hell.
Well, I probably feel the same way as you guys. Those that abuse the system have no right to it. But I mean, it's designed to help those that need help. But unfortunately, it's been exploited.
No, we're talking about the panhandlers on the side of the street.
Yeah.
Those.
Oh, yeah, they might have welfare.
Yeah, you know the ones that make 6 figures a year panhandling, and they sit there and tell everybody they're homeless. Yet they're driving there in a Mercedes, and they got a house on this corner.
No, there was one guy. There was one guy we're talking about. He was recently on Netflix. We're talking about his life, and he was earning between $500 and $800 a day.
Wow.
Yeah, earning more than some of us. Just sitting there going, "Excuse me, do you have some change? Do you have some change?" That's all they did all day long.
Yeah.
Although I have to admit, I bet you they're going broke now because everybody's like, "You got some change?" No. What the hell? What the hell is that? We don't carry currency anymore.
Do you have some?
You know, I'm surprised the homeless people haven't gotten smarter. I would expect the homeless people to get smart and sit there and say, "Hey, can you donate some money?" Well, I don't have any cash. That's okay. I take credit.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I got the little chip that plugs on top of my phone that you can pass the credit cards on.
Yeah. I mean, I'm surprised they haven't gotten that smart yet.
Oh, they probably did.
It's probably out
They
there.
haven't here.
Probably out there somewhere.
Yeah, sure. Here's my credit card. Ding! What do you mean it's $1,000?
Yeah.
John, you live in Germany. What's the homeless situation over there? I mean, when you walk outside, go downtown, do you see homeless people sleeping on park benches, or how is it over there?
You depends on where you are. You see it sometimes. You see people sitting there begging. When I worked for the landscaping company, and in one of the areas where we cut grass, there was a guy like living on this bench near the park.
Right.
You know, you see it. Depends on where you are. You see it. Yeah. And people here, they're kind of the same way, you know, because you don't know if the people are scamming you or not.
Yeah, that's the big issue. Am I being scammed? And Greg, what I was talking about with these guys when I started out, there's a place here. First time, this person came up to me and said, "I need some cash. I just got kicked out of my apartment." Blah blah blah. I gave him the change that I had, like $250. My wife told me, "You're an idiot. It's not what it's for." I said, whatever. And the next day, we both went back to the same location. And I can't remember why we went there. I think it was a coffee shop or something my wife and I kept going to. And the same guy the next day, I just got kicked out of my apartment and, I need some cash. And I looked at him, I said, dude, do you realize I gave you money just yesterday? Yeah. My wife's looking at me going, I told you.
Yeah.
But I don't like judging people because I was in that situation asking for money at one point in my life.
Yeah, especially when you've been there, done that, you know.
Yeah.
Last time I was having that many problems where I had to call up and ask for money, you know what they told my ass? They said, "Do you have any kids? No. Is your wife pregnant? No. Sorry, you don't qualify."
That's right. That's right.
I didn't get shit. They wouldn't give me shit, and I couldn't get no help. I was like screwed. So I ended up borrowing money from families.
I sold off all my valuable stuff. I went down south to Mexico. I went down to San Carlos, and then walked out from San Carlos, Mexico to Tijuana on foot. And it was my spiritual journey, basically. So when I got to Tijuana, somebody stole my money belt, which also had my ID in it. When I got to the border, I did that classic, where's your ID and all this. I'm like, oh shit, in front of a border guard. It's like,
right.
Oh crap, I don't have my wallet. And I explained it to him. I was held for 8 hours, questioned, and then after that, they opened the door and said, go ahead, you got 6 months to walk to Canada.
Wow.
Yeah, and so I spent 2 months in San Diego, and I did work at a marina, cleaning people's boats and stuff, earning a few dollars here and there. Then I got enough for a bus ticket to take it up to Calgary, just to enter into Calgary, Alberta, before I come back over to Quebec, to find out, one, the bus ticket amount changed. It had gone up because of gas prices. And that night, the bus station wasn't going to accommodate me to stay there. I had to go find somewhere else to stay. No money in my pocket. And it was minus 40 Celsius, same thing Fahrenheit. It was freaking cold. And it's the only time I ever lived in a shelter for a night. And the next day, I had to beg to my mom for $300 I can get the bus ticket value to get back to Sherbrooke, Quebec. And then I got to Quebec, and then hell hit. I went to the hospital because I couldn't shake these cold symptoms. When I went to the hospital, they thought that perhaps I caught malaria or something of the sort because it was down south. And oh crap! Turned out it was just a cold. I had basically had the flu. But talk about I ain't going to do that again. Who do we have?
Hey, Michael's here.
Yo,
Mikey.
Michael's in the house.
You can see his head.
Uncle Mike from the attic and over the fence. We were just talking about pedophiles earlier and about treats, and now here you are. I'm kidding. I love you. I'm just joking.
That is jacked up.
I'm trying to say about Mike is that every time he comes on, we see less and less of his head. Pretty soon we're gonna see the wall in front of him.
You know, I was Russian, just coming back from getting a blood test.
Anal probe, eh?
You said blood.
Oh, sorry.
Of course, we know where your mind is, as always, Nelson.
Aliens, Belinda, aliens. The other religious people.
We got quiet all of a sudden.
The what?
It sure got quiet all of a sudden.
Uncle Mike, did you bring me my candy today and my Barbie doll that I asked for?
Oh my! This is getting weird. Sorry, Greg. Hey, Greg, why don't you go on camera?
It's an inside joke, Greg. Sorry.
I ain't asking no questions. I'm just.
Well, let's get this over and done with. Okay, who's blacker, me or John?
You.
Thank you. I'll send you the money later. There's our racist comment of the week, everybody.
Nelson should have been the one starring in the movie The Jerk instead of Steve Martin.
Yeah, there you go. Hey, we're all, if you go based on the genealogy thing, what do you call that? That 23andMe. We're all at least 2% African. Okay, that's why I say. I
am because I'm Puerto Rican, so I already have African, and we're made up of African, Spanish, and Taino Indian.
The only ones that don't have African descent is the Native Americans that don't have.
And I'm Native American, Lakota Sioux.
Yeah, but
so I'm half Lakota, half Puerto Rican. I'm Lakota Rican.
Yeah, but you got to mix. I'm talking about the purebred here won't have it because.
Well, excuse me.
There's actually two cradles of life in the world, not just one in the.
Well, one of my parents is full-blooded Lakota.
What, Mike?
I have no African. My wife has no African either.
Did you get the test? Did you get the test done? Because apparently everybody shows us 1 or 2%.
No African whatsoever.
It would have.
Nelson, one of my parents is full-blooded Puerto Rican. The other parent is full-blooded Lakota.
Belinda, on every episode we know this.
Okay, well then, though, you can't say that because my one parent doesn't have any African in it, like you said, Native American.
No, I'm talking about 1%, not 10.
Find out, Michael.
Anyways, I'm 25% black. Okay.
Say again, Mike.
Oh, look, he's all excited about it.
Yeah.
Be quiet. Say it again, Mike.
Hey, I am 10% Irish, 9% Scandinavian, 12% Greek, Italian, Western European, and Eastern European.
I want to see this report.
I got a report.
I want to see it. Reason why they say it's 1 or 2% is because we come from one of 7 clans in the world, and talking about the cradle of life and all that. We come from one of 7 clans, and it goes back to like the time of the Neanderthals, and before Irish and Scottish and Italian and all that. And there's 2 major clans. One is North American, the other one would be African, and it's when the continents separated, and we got like 3 clans on one side and 4 on the other. And that's what the term is, whether or not we have African descent, if you want to call it that or not. But anyways, we're all black one way or the other. I say it all the time. Peel the skin away, we're all pink underneath. Right, John?
That's funny. I'm red.
Well, pink, red, white, whatever. White would be infection. In your case, Mike, it might be infection. We don't know yet, but we'll find out later.
It's very possible.
Did we Mike?
I am 100% insane.
Me too. Michael, did we get a result on a certain test?
Not yet.
Not
Monday.
yet.
Monday.
Okay, so
He is
Monday you're going to be on the show, and we're going to talk about that test, right?
Yes.
What, you pregnant?
Well, no.
Yes, I am.
Michael went in to find out whether or not he's male or female. It takes time to figure
That's
it out.
right. It takes time.
Yeah. I mean, look at Nelson. He's the bearded lady. So.
So okay, let's get back to real shit, guys. let's start asking the serious questions here. Greg, who are you? Greg, who are you? What do you do, and where do you want to go?
Wow, there's a lot of questions there, Nelson.
Yeah. Let's do this.
Who am I? That's a good question, isn't it? Who am I? Who am I in which context?
When I look up at the stars at night, I ask, "Who am I?" Nobody answers me.
Nelson.
This is God. This is God talking to you. Shut up, Mike.
Okay, so who am I? I'm Greg. I live in Minnesota. I work online. I have done quite a variety of things. I currently work on a large project called Yiggy. Some of you know about it, some don't.
Best site ever. Well, other than mine. Besides Mardox, it's the best site ever.
Wow. Thanks.
There you go.
Hey, Belinda got a little preview of the poker.
Yeah, I was telling him about that.
Yeah, you did pretty well, except I still whooped you, but that's okay.
Oh, it's okay. I'm going to whoop you next time. Don't worry about it.
Guys, let's keep this clean.
Laying well.
Oh, we're talking whips and chains now. This is getting nasty.
You just got lucky this time. I mean, I usually am more on my game. Excuse the pun.
That's okay. That's your first time in that room, so.
Yeah, the buttons were so hard to use. I was trying to figure it all out. Poor little itty bitty me.
Are you saying that Belinda was a virgin before then?
Jeez, Nelson always has to twist everything.
He does. It's like, what do you say to
it? The other side.
I'm a quick learner, just so you know. And for a while, I was getting ahead, and then I fell back. Okay, I did not. All right, let me rephrase that. Shut up, Nelson. I cannot see anything around you.
Either I say it or Josh is going to say it. One or the other.
You're worse, Nelson.
Yeah, I am.
Anyway,
ladies and gentlemen, this is a family safe show. Oh, you guys keep talking. I gotta do a little something here because I just realized I didn't bring up the chat window so people can ask us stuff.
Well, that was smart of you, Nelson.
Keep doing the blah blah thing. I'll be right there.
Okay, you were saying, Greg?
Well,
sorry, Greg. Go ahead.
Anyway, we're working on this very, very large project. It's been exciting and a lot of fun stuff going on there, and we're getting that lined up and going. When I'm not doing that, I sell on Amazon. That's kind of how I make my living in the background. So
I used to do Amazon and eBay, but it got to be. I got tired of the dirty politics. It wasn't like it used to be. That's why I got out of it, and I started making money other ways, a lot easier instead. without all the BS, you know.
It's gotten more difficult over the last couple of years for sure.
Yeah.
And this year especially. So yeah, I think we started about the same time. I started off a Rogers course. Is how I got started as well. So with DSD. But anyway.
No, actually, I was doing eBay and Amazon '95.
Oh, okay.
You know, the old school way. You just sell out of your house. You know, stuff you didn't want anymore, and then you would go to a warehouse or somebody you knew and get us. But the thing is, he does, the DS course did teach you Amazon real drop shipping. It just started you with the arbitrage, you know, version. And that was the only thing I made money with, because when I did regular drop shipping the old school way, I was stuck with a bunch of, you know, supply and it wasn't selling. But once I learned how to do SEO and do keyword searches, I mean, his course really did help. What got ruined is when everybody started doing the same thing and abusing it, which made eBay and Amazon tighten up their belt, just like Craigslist did. And then on top of that, when they fired Roger and took over the DS thing, I won't say it, and then made the new spin-off of that, it went totally to crap. And then it came out with Shopify and all this other stuff too.
That's it.
I agree.
That's it. Now Amazon. Now to become an Amazon reseller, you need to show Amazon that you have a minimum of traffic and availability for resource like marketing, or if you're just going to even just sell links, put links like as an affiliate program.
Right.
If you're going to do drop shipping, you got to be able to prove that you're going to have an X minimum amount of drop ship capabilities. And that's where they're basically wanting to get out of having 10,000 resellers and bring it down to 1,000 really serious ones.
Well, even on eBay, they're doing that. In fact, the thing about Amazon and stuff and eBay is I made a killing. I was a power seller. And I started sourcing, you know, for Amazon. You know, I was in all the modules. And it was, I was making good money, but then all this other stuff started happening where people don't realize is the bigger your business,
you couldn't sell their stuff
the bigger the business gets. The bigger your business gets, you have to start hiring staff because you're not going to be able to do all the orders yourself. It becomes like a 9-to-5 job, and sometimes you're working so many hours that you don't see your family. So really, it's not worth it. And then when you have the obstacles on top of it that started coming along, like we were just talking about, it's definitely not worth it anymore.
So having a job that you built yourself with
it becomes hell.
Worth it?
Josh, it's not fun. It becomes hell. It's not. If it takes you away from your kids, it takes your life away. Yeah, then it's time to stop. And when the money's starting to dwindle and the BS is starting to happen and you know they're tightening up their belts, then it's not even worth it.
Depends on who you look at, because starting a business yourself and then having to get to a point where you need employees, some people find that fun. I like it personally. I mean, I'm looking forward to having an office space for Mardox for our media team. I'm looking forward to that. I got people lined up that want to be part of it, you know, and you know, I'm gonna like the fact going in each day saying, "Hi guys, what are we doing today?" You know, and get away from this office mentality at my house where there's all sorts of distractions, like the dog, wife needs me to go make her coffee or whatever. You know, it's a lot easier if I can just go to another location and do my work. You know,
I like that I can work from my house. I don't want another location, but again, that wasn't even the problem. I don't even mind having employees or outsourcing. The problem was the money was going down. Everything was changing because of people that were abusing it, causing Amazon and all of them to tighten up their belt and do like what we were just talking about. On top of everybody doing the same thing, after a while, eventually caught up. I was one of the very few people that had their own mom and pop distributors, company. Where, you know, most distributors, you have to buy a certain bulk, you know, a bulk amount in order for you to get the lowest price, right? But I was one of the few people that got really blessed to have a mom and pop distributor that was allowing me to use their catalog like I would Amazon or Overstock or any of those other places, and I could just sell one thing at a time. I didn't have to buy a bulk from them like I would any other place. So I could be the lowest price. I could undercut everybody else and still make more money than they were because I wasn't just simply selling it off the site.
Advocating to be the cheapest people around. That doesn't make sense to me.
No, listen, Josh. most people were they were doing the regular arbitrage, you know, not the real dropshipping. What they were doing was going to Amazon for, you know, for like the beginner, let's say. They were going to Amazon and they were buying like a black pot, okay, a black frying pan or whatever. And let's say it was $10. They would up it to 20 to 30 bucks, okay?
Yeah.
And they would sell that ad and change the words around and all that so it was theirs, and do the SEO and all that in the picture, to scramble the code and all that, and put that on let's say eBay.
Right.
And the reason it didn't matter how much the price was, it was that you got found. Because most people don't take the time to look at the prices. I thought people were like me. They took the time, they did comparison shopping, but you'd be surprised how many people don't even bother comparison shop. They just go and to find it. And when they find it, they buy it.
Let us slip this in. I got to ask this. Where's the abuse you're talking about? I don't see where any
because
abuse is.
people were abusing the way they did it, the way they were trained. It was causing eBay. They were going against eBay's terms. They were meeting the terms.
Because they didn't have the actual item in hand. Okay, because eBay doesn't allow drop shipping. I understand that.
No, they were okay with arbitrage because we called and asked them. In the beginning, they were, but when people started using it and everything, that's when they started putting in their terms.
Okay. Now, where's this conversation going? 'Cause it's just repeating.
Okay, well, the point I'm making is that I used the real distributor place eventually.
Right.
And so I was one of the very few people that kept that source to myself and didn't share with other people, because then again it would get abused. Not because I don't share. And I would I would be able to undercut everybody else and still offer lowest prices, so I made more than everybody else. The problem is, again, eBay and Amazon started tightening the belt more and more and more because other people were abusing it. And it just isn't the same what it used to be. That's why I got out of it, among other reasons.
My face looks confused right now because how does this?
Because how am I going to afford employees or anything else when prices are going down?
Hold on. How does it apply to what Greg was talking about?
I'm talking about why I got out of it and how he's saying that he's starting to see that too.
Oh, okay. Wow, that was a long 10 minutes.
Well, you asked me questions, so I was answering them.
No, you're trying to figure out how it's abusive to charge money.
Well, it was what the people were doing.
You charge money. That's it.
Again, I buy these at $5 to $10 each. I sell them for $100.
You're not doing anything wrong that way. You could go to dollar stores and do that. Yeah, it's not that. You could use a scanner on your phone and see what the going price is. That's not wrong. It's the way they were doing it the wrong way. They were doing it in other ways that were not taught.
So I don't see how you got in trouble because you were
not me. My business is getting affected. Not that I was in trouble because of what other people were doing.
Well, I don't agree with that because you shouldn't have been affected. What's up, John?
Are y'all gonna ask Greg another question that y'all won't let him answer?
Yeah, go ahead. I gave him 3 questions.
Damn.
I gave him 3 questions. Can somebody go back in the video and see what the questions were?
What else did you do besides Jiggy? And he said he did Amazon.
Oh, Fugly wrote it. Who are you? Where have you been? And where are you going? So question number 3 is where are you going?
Sounds like a song. There should be a song in here somewhere. Wow,
we just went
Hold on. Belinda, I don't love you anymore. I'm going to kick you out the door. Okay, now we can go on.
You know, Nelson, let me just throw you back in the closet where you belong.
Yeah, that's after. You need to plug me in this time, okay?
Yeah.
My batteries are running out. No, don't ask. You're asking for a song is fine. Don't ask for a song and dance. You don't want to see the dance.
No, I don't. I would be traumatized for life.
Okay, great. Question number 3. Go for it. Where are you going? Where are you going with what you're doing? What are your future plans?
We're going to change the world.
There you go. Sorry, everybody in your ears.
Damn.
Sorry. Yeah, over. Well, I'm hoping that the Yiggy program takes off, and I can forget about all this other Amazon, eBay, Bonanza, blah 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 stuff. But in the meantime, but yeah, the Yiggy thing is exciting because it really is going to help a lot of people. A lot of people are going to make some decent money.
Well, what's nice about your program, if you just want to take a second and explain to people watching what Yiggy is, from what I understand is you do not need to put any money down. You're playing card games such as blackjack and poker.
Right.
You do not put any money in, and you can win.
Nope.
This is where I tell my dad about the program. He goes, well, how can I not put money in and still be able to win money? So
sure.
Did you explain this to the sponsors? And
let Greg talk.
Sorry.
In other words, Belinda, shut up.
Shut up. Sorry, go ahead, Greg.
There's not even a way to spend money on our site. We don't take any credit cards. There's no PayPal. There's no way to take money. So if you go to Yiggy.com or go through Belinda's or Nelson's link, even better. You sign up for absolutely free. You can play at this point. It's blackjack, baccarat, and poker is just like a week away. So that's Texas Hold'em poker. Real prizes, and plus a percentage of all earnings go to charity that you choose. We've got a drop down of charities that you can choose, and if you win, your charity wins. So it's kind of a neat thing. And and Belinda is right. The money comes. The payouts come from advertisers. And then that's really all there is to it. We don't accept any money. People say, well, I want to buy more chips or whatever. You can't do it. That's not a possible.
I have a client that looked at your project, and he has a website he wants to design. He wants to make it so that his members come in, use his service, but all the advertisers pay for the bandwidth and the servers. And it's going to open up a door. It's going to open up huge doorways for people in the world of lead generation and list building. And it's going to be huge. He saw your program, he looked over it, and he said, "This guy."
Oh man, now he's starting to sound like Trump. It's going to be huge.
Oh, it is.
That's okay. Greg is going to go with my services and Nelson's. These guys going to be big.
Think about
between me and Nelson.
Hold on. Josh, when you go to AWeber and you got 10,000 people on your list, can you mail to those 10,000 for free?
No.
No, you got to pay for it. But let the advertisers pay for that space.
I know, but what I'm saying is you're using the same terminology as Trump is all.
Yeah,
that's all.
Yeah, how about you comparing me to Trump?
It's gonna be huge.
He's gay.
He's not gay. Jeez, just like.
Well, then there's more comparisons in common with you then.
Yes, Melania Trump. Hello.
Yes, she's paid off just to be a showpiece.
I doubt that.
Hey,
so anyway,
if Donald Trump came to me and said, "Please marry me," I'd be like, "Oh hell yeah, give me some money. I'll be gay like this."
You have no shame, Nelson. No shame.
Hey, if it's money involved, at 5 o'clock I check out. Bye.
And this is why Greg is going to go with my services, because you need to go back in the closet.
Yeah, well, I get to plug me in.
I'll drill you in.
I think he's out of the closet.
Okay, Greg, go back to what you were saying. Go ahead. That's your turn now. Go ahead.
So what did your guy say about the site? You said he looked at it.
Well, he likes the concept that you have advertisers that come in and pay advertising, and then your members play for free. He really likes that idea. And it's not something being done very much right now on the internet. Right now, it's you're a member, you come in, you pay. And there's a lot of people out there can't pay. They can't afford half this stuff.
Well, even if you play Zynga on Facebook, it's free until you need more. I don't know how it works. Yeah. Coins, tokens, but then you purchase those. So.
Well, no. There's a lot of games on Facebook you can play for free, and you can keep playing for free. But if you want to get ahead faster, then you pay for it.
But hold on now. Like, just imagine this concept. It's not a secret. We're working on it. It's being advertised right now. You're going to build a list. You need a list building service. You set up a lead capture page. Person puts their name and email address. Boom, they're on your list. You want to mail to that list. A lot of places say 100, 200, 500 people on your list. It won't cost anything to get you started. After that, it costs. What he wants to do is everybody, regardless of the size of your list, you can mail to it once a week without paying a cent to everybody on your list. It's the advertisers that want to be able to mail to the entire database. They're the ones paying for your right to mail to your members. And with that's going to open a door for a lot of people with wanting to do mail list building. And they go, yeah, but I build a list and then I got to pay money, but I'm not making sales over here.
See, that's the thing, Nelson. You don't want to mail to your list every day because you'll be too much of a pain in the butt to them. So once a week is reasonable.
Yeah, well, that's the thing.
Once,
well, hold on now. That's the thing now. If you want to mail to your list every day, you can, but you're gonna have to pay for it.
Right.
But you can mail to it once a week without paying a cent. You can have 100,000 people on your list. It will not cost you a cent once a week because the advertisers are paying for that one. If you on Wednesday you go, oh man, I want to mail to my list. Well, now based on how many you got, it's going to cost this much. You see.
Well, so, what I'm saying is, if you're mailing to your people once a week, that should be plenty to keep in touch with them anyway.
Right. Yeah. Well, once to twice a week. So that's.
Yeah, you don't want to do it too much.
But this guy was going to go the same path as AWeber and those guys. X amount, pay this, and they get the service. And then he looked at Greg's program and he went, hey, wait a minute. That makes perfect sense. And by just talking to a few people, he's already got advertisers lined up.
Yeah, but okay. So is the guy planning on the advertisers being able to mail to um the database?
Well, what's going to happen is all the mail going out at the bottom of the message is going to say this email was delivered or sponsored by blank, and it's going to have the link to that sponsor at the bottom of the email.
Okay.
Something like that. We're not going to do an independent mailing because then it's going to cause a problem. If you get mailed once a week to your list and they get advertisers mailed, which was going to be too much.
What I was wondering.
So what's going to happen is these sponsors paid for this mailing. You see at the bottom of the email. So
they get to put their link out.
That's it. And of course, we don't want to charge an astronomical fee because let's face it, you get 10 people in, $30 a month basically. The advertisers each can have their link on all the emails across the board, and which is dirt cheap. I mean, and that's just bare bones, 50,000 gigs of bandwidth plus the server and accessibility fees. You can easily mail out for $300 a month. So you need like 10 people at $30 each, or whatever. But we got to build the ad rotator so it rotates out and stuff like that. And there's some advertisers that don't want their advertising on email subject lines that have certain keywords in it. So like John might not want it to go out for marketing, but for learning and education, he wants his emails to go out on only those emails. So
I'm confused.
Why?
Do we pay for this or we don't pay for this?
You don't. If you don't want to pay for it, then you can send one email a week.
Okay, so you're talking about if you do more than one a week, then that's when the $30 comes in a month.
No, the 30 is the advertiser. Like say Mardox or John wants to advertise. John will pay a fee, and his link will be at the bottom of the email saying this email was sponsored by johnbrewer.com or whatever.
Oh, okay, that's a side thing now.
That's how it gets paid for. The server, the bandwidth, all that stuff.
Okay.
Yeah. And so that when he saw Greg's program, to him it was like, wow, that makes perfect sense, because now it's going to open the door to all those people like Lauren, John, me, Belinda, Michael, going, shit, I got a list of 5,000 people and I don't have $60 to pay for the account to mail to them.
Well, I have a question. Can I use a list of leads I created that are in that targeted niche, or do I have to do it the old-fashioned, let's throw my site out there and see who goes for it?
You'll have to tell them to go to the site and sign up.
So it's still capturing the same people that you do at other capture pages.
Yeah, well, it's double opt-in.
Every Tom, Dick, and Harry that just happens to come across, and you don't know they're even targeted.
Well, no, you can target it, yes, but they have to go to the page that we provide so they can sign up to that list. You can't import a list.
That's too bad, because I can make really targeted leads.
Yeah, no, that's fine. But then email them and say that if they want more, then go to this website and sign up. It actually works for your funnel. You can mail to your current list and then tell them if you want more, go to this list and sign up. So you got 10,000 people, and then you got a targeted list of 1,000 out of those 10,000. It's not a bad idea, but no, we have to respect the double opt-in protocols.
I know. It just sucks that the Awebers and all that don't allow it.
No, well, all those programs, the ones that are saying that you can import a list, it used to be that will allow you to import a list on trust. But if you got too many complaints, that service got cut off. But pretty soon that service is going to be no longer existent. People have to double opt in. They have to. Because there's too many people going, oh, yeah, sure, you can trust me. Who cares about the spam complaints? Click, 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 10,000 emails, send a message, tons of spam complaints.
Well, see, the targeted leads that I create, I verify their emails, I call them, so I know that they're permission-based that way.
Yeah. Well, you'll see when it's online. You'll see it's going to be really, really cool for everybody. It's really going to open a door for users who don't have the money but need to build a list. And that's, I think, is the key point. I mean, he really went and found the problem and he found the fix. And because of Greg, I think Greg should get a commission off these sales.
Oh man, I don't think so. I think you should at least buy a position in the association.
Yeah, you should. Yeah.
It's only $90, so I got a position in there.
But it was the concept of how it's done with the advertisers. He really liked that and said, "Oh, I'm changing the whole system over. This is how it's going to be now." And I
see that happen. Will probably happen a lot in the future.
I think it's going to become more and more the internet. Advertisers pay for the service.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's what it's going to be. People want stuff for free. They're going to have to understand that there's going to be advertisers.
So yeah, somebody's got to pay the bill. I mean, that's just the way.
That's it. Or like the classified ad site that I'm working on for another person. The people are going to be able to post their ads for free, but you're going to have to pay to get it. spotlighted.
Yeah. Well, that's what Craigslist does. You can post free ads, but if you want to be seen, then you pay for it. That's all there is.
Kijiji does the same thing, yeah. Cricket.
Oh, the Backpage and all those other ad sites use rotators, so it's always hit and miss. That's the problem with those. That's why I like Craigslist, because even though it's more strict, if you pay, you definitely get to the top, and you definitely get seen.
Did you just see what he did? I'm sitting there and chug, and there's Michael going.
I wasn't paying attention.
Always wanted to one up me, huh? I'll show you, old man. What was that domain name again that you had me? Oh, that was John. Whoops, sorry.
Wow.
Oh, jeez.
This is interesting.
I had to refund a client last night. I was in a rush. I went out and I passed out bills, and the old lady, she's 85 years old, and I gave her the bill for her snow removal for this year at $450 for the walkway and driveway. And she wrote a check, sent it off to me, and I went to the next person's place. I said, "Wait a minute, you're supposed to be $450. How are you at only $200?" Oh no! I gave her the wrong one. Oops. You know, so I had to go back. Can you redo your check? But I found something neat. The $450 payment. She said, "Don't worry about it. Just deposit it. I know you're going to come back and do my lawn next summer."
Okay.
Oh, that's sweet.
Because I was honest. I could have screwed her over. Yeah, and
see, a lot of people like you and I and Greg and people on here and John and I hope Josh, you know, just kidding, Josh. There's not many people that are honest like that. I mean, really, everybody tries to nickel and dime you, and you know, it's sad.
Yes, I'm one of the honest ones, unfortunately, too.
Hey, Mike, you noticed
I went to the bank, asked for $100 back, and got to the first place I was going to, and got out that they mistaken one of the 20s for 100. So I had to drive all the way back to the bank.
Really? You did that?
Yeah, I did. I drove all the way back to the bank, even though they said they have it on the receipt that they paid me $100. They gave me 180. I actually went all the way back to the bank to swap it back.
Oh.
Yeah, I'm that honest. I know.
But they were happy to see you. I bet.
Yeah, no, I was. Wish I was not quite as honest. Then I could have kept the 100.
Here in Canada, our new bills are plasticky, so they tend to stick together. Mm-hmm. And there's times that the client will count it out, give you 300 today. I went over and counted out 300, and I said, "Well, you gave me 320." And he goes, "Oh, so here's 20." You know, I always count the money in front of the person, even though I don't like doing it. It's not because I don't trust you. It's we might have that situation, right? You gave me too much. Mm-hmm. You know,
bills are plastic.
They're polymers, so they don't. You can put you can go swimming with it, and they're like the Australian dollars.
I don't know what the Australian dollars or Canada dollars feel like. So
plastic.
Yeah.
Plastic. Wow. You can see through plastic. Tick 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 plastic. Huh. Yeah. Well, go look it up. You'll go on YouTube. That's all over the place. Australia came out.
America's got plastic too. It's called Visa and MasterCard.
No. Real plastic bills. Visa and MasterCard. Oh. Hey, WikiLeaks! WikiLeaks! Not WikiLeaks. No, not WikiLeaks. No.
You're what?
No, hold on. I got the word WikiLeaks on my screen. It's not WikiLeaks I'm talking about. Equifax. They had that leak of 180,000 people. Their personal information.
No. It wasn't 180,000 people. It's 180 million people.
That's
180 million people. Their information got released. The CTO just resigned. He's going on retirement. He's going to get his retirement package. It's $18 million. It comes to something like 13 cents per victim.
Wow.
Think about it. This guy's getting paid 18 cents for every victim that lost their information. His excuse was, it's time for me to step down and allow somebody who can keep up with the times and the security issues of the times.
I heard that on CNN, yeah.
Yeah. But
and you said it's who? The CTO of the company?
Yeah, something like that. CTO or CEO. I can't remember which one it was.
It should be the CTO.
Yeah, well, the thing is, he's leaving, and the severance package that he's getting, you know, his retirement package is $18 million. Do the math, it's like 13 cents per victim. He's getting paid for the victims. It's like, I did a whole bunch of victims for
That's why it pays to be the CTO.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's wrong.
That's it.
That's wrong on so many levels. Hey,
no. You want to know what's wrong? The fact that they actually signed that contract.
Well, there's two problems. One, they released the information, and then they said, if you want help, go to this domain name. And the words were inverted. It's like Equifax support, or something like that. And then one idiot on the internet went and got the other domain name with the words inverted. And people went to the inverted one, and then Equifax actually went out and started telling people, go to that domain name, but to the inverted one, support Equifax. And people were going there, and the guy that set up the domain publicized, look, I'm not a hacker, I didn't keep your information, but this is how secure Equifax is. And then
here's the really screwed up thing with Equifax. What Equifax is also doing, though, is they're saying, please check to see if you're a victim. And if you check to see if you're a victim, you're signing away your rights to be able to sue them.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh.
So they're basically saying, hey, we screwed you over, but if you want to find out if we screwed you over, then you can't sue us.
Yeah.
Screw you.
But going further than that, you're at risk? Here, you pay us this amount of money and we'll protect you.
Of course.
Yeah. Pay us money, you my little victims. So, I just raped you and now you can pay me to protect you. It's essentially what it is.
Oh, that's America for you, man. Come on, it's the American way. You got to move to America to understand that.
That's right.
Yeah. Jesus. I'm coming to America. It's exactly because Germany won't let me.
I mean, think about this for a second. We gave 200. I think it was like 200 or 850,000, $2 million. I think it was, to train Chinese hookers how to drink responsibly, and then they sit there and say, "Well, we don't have enough money to run the government. We need more tax money." Well, if they'll stop trying to pay Chinese hookers, we would be fine.
To drink responsibly? What?
Yes. This is the shit they spend money on. They spend $250,000 having a shrimp run on a treadmill to sit there and see what the effects of it would be. There's the crap they spend money on in these pork barrel things. All the pork they add to these damn bills. That's what's freaking driving our country bankrupt.
Are you serious?
Yeah, I'm serious. They paid $800,000 to sit there and start a genital ball washing seminar in the freaking Africa to see if it would help with HIV. Literally, to teach people how to wash their nuts.
Well, it depends now. It depends because it might be the other way around. Counterclockwise. John, how do you wash your balls?
Wow. Don't answer that, John.
I wash it with my hand. No, but seriously, serious question of the day. Very serious topic here. How do you guys wipe your butts?
What? Go ahead.
The only correct answer there is a bidet.
No, not at all. How do you guys use a bidet? John, how do you wipe your butt?
Are we really talking about this now?
Yeah.
Seriously.
You guys are all going to fail because I wipe my butt with my hand and toilet paper.
I'm not even going to get into that.
You mean I shouldn't be using sandpaper?
No. Well, yeah, we have that in Canada, right, Mike? Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I thought. I thought that's what the sandpaper was for. The different colors were for the different, colors.
Yeah, different grain, man.
Yeah, that's it. John, don't listen to what we're talking about, John. Your butt will be white by the time you're done. That shit will sand the color right off you.
Like Nelson.
Yeah. You'll look black like me. Hey, it's that. Hey, we went 2 days without saying it, John. We have to go there at least once a week. People want to see this. What are you eating, John? What are you eating?
Noodles and liver.
Ooh, liver. I haven't had liver in a long time. Beef or beef liver?
No liver for me, man.
Liver.
Beef liver?
What kind of liver is it? Beef, right? Yeah, beef.
Is it sauteed or boiled?
Fried.
Deep fried.
Fried, yeah.
Fried.
Yeah, fried, sauteed, yeah. Okay. Yeah,
fried with fried onions.
Yeah.
See, that's why I did That's why I did fried catfish.
Nice.
Yeah,
You get the liver, man.
We have trout, salmon, sturgeon.
Salmon's good.
Yeah, salmon's good. Sturgeon's good. You guys haven't had sturgeon?
Sturgeon, sure.
That's a big ass.
That's the bike rally, right?
Sturgeon's a big ass, ugly looking white fish with the big freaking things in the front there.
I thought that was the bike rally they have here.
Rainbow.
There really is a bike week out here, and they have the Sturgeon's Bike Festival.
I love rainbow trout.
Like one of the largest bike festivals here.
Personally, I love rainbow trout. That stuff is awesome.
Yeah, I was thinking of the right thing. Sturgeon is really the largest bike festival here.
Yeah, okay, cool. We got that. Yeah.
Hey, Joshua.
Right, catfish in a long time.
Where do you live?
Where do I live?
Yeah.
I live in the suburbs of Chicago, unfortunately.
Hey, guess what? I live in a house built outside.
Although I am about to move, so I'm getting the hell out of this damn place.
He's gonna move to a house that's built outside that he can move.
Yeah. Now I'm moving to Wisconsin Rapids. So I'm moving up to Wisconsin.
Now, in a trailer park.
Yep. Hey, I don't care.
In a van by the river.
Golly gee, Josh, what are we drinking today?
Hey, if the van is big enough to live in, I probably would.
Get out of that place. Yikes.
Yep.
Anything's better than Chicago. I mean, shit, we get the highest taxes in the country.
Really?
Well, just
Really? We really do.
They should call it life insurance. Is what they should call it.
You know what we call it, the county I live in? Chicago and the area I live in is all part of the same county called Cook County. Everybody that lives here calls it Crook County.
Yeah, good. You're not too far from Joliet then.
Yeah, that's in Will County, though. They actually have a better tax rate than we do.
Ah, gotcha.
Cook County has the highest tax rate in the entire country.
Now, is your wife moving with you, or are you packing her up and leaving her behind, or what are you doing with that there?
No, we're both moving.
Oh, okay, cool. Good job.
It's going to be a couple months before we move officially.
Hey,
But
do you have to deflate her before you move, or?
no, I have to deflate me to move.
You're not that big, Josh. Really, seriously, how heavy are you? You're not that big. I mean, I see guys on YouTube in a 500-pound range. I mean, what are you at?
I'm not that big, no.
No, okay. So you're mid class.
I'm in the 300 range.
It's 300 range. Oh, okay.
I'm not in the 500 range.
I'm just shy. I'm just barely in the 200 range. I'd like to be 185, but I gotta go to the gym.
If I was at 200, I'd probably be really back looking fit again. But
Yeah.
200 is probably about where I need to get at.
You would look like this.
No, I'd look better than that.
Oh.
Anything looks better.
Hey.
Sorry, no.
Hey. I know your guys' websites. For some of you guys, I host it.
None of mine are there.
Speaking of that, Nelson, we got to do my site.
I have dedicated hosting.
Oh, you know, what? You got. I put WordPress on yours.
Marketwithbelinda.com.
I put WordPress on it for you. You didn't get started?
We were going to do it together, remember?
To do what together?
My site, you Neanderthal.
Yeah, I did. I put WordPress on. You've got to go through the process and find out what style and template you want.
I know, but I wanted your help with it because I was going to ask you a few things. Remember, we were going to get together one night. It never happened.
Well, no, because your boyfriend was there and my wife was
there. Yeah. Nice try.
You know?
I could install about 3 or 4 tools, and she'd know how. She'd be able to do it on her own.
Well,
it's not about that. It was more than just that. I wanted to put some layouts together. I wanted to get his opinion and see how he thinks. You know, there was other stuff too, more than just tools.
She wants alimony.
Like the best free drag and drop tool for WordPress. If we want to go in that topic, we can do that.
Yeah, go ahead. Let's go.
So the best free drag and drop that's out there on WordPress.org is definitely Elementor.
It was more than, thanks Josh, but it was more than just that. It's a lot of different things I want to do with the site that I want to go over with, and that's all.
Yeah, we already got that part. We already said that.
Exactly.
Elementor, what is Elementor for?
So naming tools right now won't do me any good.
Well, sorry, hold on. Belinda's talking.
Yeah.
Sorry, go ahead. Not like Josh doesn't talk over all of us. Go ahead, sorry.
But yes, Elementor is free. They have a paid version as well, but the as far as best drag and drops, Beaver Builder is probably one of the best ones out there as far as paid ones go. But Elementor is probably one of the best free ones out there by far. I'm sorry?
It allows you to build your WordPress site through drag and drop, or what is it?
Yeah, it's a drag and drop builder. Mm-hmm.
Hi. Interesting.
Fugly wants to ask a question.
Okay. What's the question?
I don't know yet. That's all he wrote. Can I ask a question? I'm answering.
Say no.
Oh, Fugly, in 20 seconds, you'll hear Belinda say no.
I thought you were Fugly. No.
I'm not Fugly.
We went over this before.
I am not Fugly. And people have sped up slowed down his videos and listen. It does not sound like me. It does not sound like me at all. What's WordPress?
Okay, so WordPress only powers about 30% of the entire internet. So if you've ever been on a blog, it's more than likely WordPress. If you've ever been on CNN, it's most likely WordPress. If you've ever been on the internet, you probably bumped into WordPress at some point in your life. And if you don't know what WordPress is, just right-click, view the source code. You'll see it most likely.
Most of my web-based tools are off WordPress.
Yeah. You have to understand, Fugly only does YouTube. Only YouTube.
Oh, only YouTube. Well, that explains a lot then.
He doesn't even have a Facebook account or anything.
Wow.
Yeah.
Dude, really?
Yeah.
So what's he doing for a living then?
Before that, he was working on boats.
No, I said, what's he do for a living now?
Yeah, he's on YouTube.
No, what's he do for a living?
He's a YouTuber.
He makes a full-time income doing that?
Yeah. Well, for whatever he needs, I don't know. Ask him.
You never know.
Fugly, how much money do you make? Should please put a price in the thing there. Sam Pelezio, I hope I got that right. Thank you for the $5 super chat. But you need to ask a question so that it's worth having a $5 super chat question. But thanks for the $5. Wow, that's awesome. That's our very, very first super chat. He just sent the $5 payment, but no question attached. Okay. Hey, we got a $5 donation. Pizza!
Wow, that's not much of a pizza.
Well, it has to start somewhere. Some Chinese person's got to put the pepperoni on. That's racist.
Wow.
You know, John.
We just got demonetized.
John.
Yes, ma'am.
There goes your
Could you please
$5.
do me a favor? Take your Fritz box and throw it over his head.
Oh no!
On down like a cartoon character, right over his head.
If he throws his Fritz box, it'd probably work better. He doesn't want that. John's like, no, shut up! Stop saying Fritz box. That's why we say in America things are on the Fritz.
You slay yourself, don't you, Nelson?
Yeah.
You have a banker's joke only to tell her laughs. Huh?
What?
Hey, Nelson.
Yes.
Hey, by the way, Nelson, you're a little giddy. Does that mean they've authorized pot in your woods?
The what?
Hey?
The what?
They legalized marijuana? Hey?
What? I'm not catching what you mean by that.
Yeah, are you legalized down there yet?
No. But
no, he's in Quebec.
No, but
he's in Quebec.
They're legal where I'm at.
No, it's not been legalized, I don't think. But I know for a fact, I know
it's not legal here. It's decriminalized here.
I know people will walk around town with a joint, not worrying about the cops stopping them. They won't say anything, not unless you got a bag of it in your back pocket. But a joint, they won't really touch it. So.
That's called decriminalization, then.
Yeah, no.
That means it's pretty much legal.
It's just the cops don't want to deal. They don't want to deal with it.
Here it's decriminalized as well. It's considered a traffic ticket instead of a criminal offense.
Sam's last name is pronounced Sepio. Sam Sepio. Okay. There you go. So I still don't have a message, but thanks for the $5. Can I say? Send more. Every question you ask, just keep doing super chat. I like that. I might get rich.
Of course you do.
I might get rich. Okay, so we've got. Hey guys, it's been an hour and 3 minutes.
What?
Yeah, it's been an hour and 3 minutes. Yeah, when John is there and Mike's there and Greg and Josh, time flies.
Yeah, don't forget me. I'm just a fly on the wall. You dimwit.
Who?
Could you imagine?
You sniveling
twit. Did y'all hear something?
Could you imagine if Belinda wasn't to talk at all? Imagine how much faster it would pass.
You complained a few times I was actually quiet most of the chat. You're like, why are you talking? I can't win with you.
Hey, did y'all hear something?
Yeah, I heard something. It's in this ear here.
It's very go back to my Zoom, boys and girls, so I can basically mute him out when he does this.
Oh, that's so much better. Oh, okay. What were you guys saying?
Oh man.
John, are you gonna do the dues? Do the deed?
Yeah. I'll do the deed.
I gotta go. I gotta get back to turning on my fan. I'm cooking down here.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, once again for tuning into the Mardox Daily Live Chat. There are.
Jesus Christ.
What's so funny?
Josh makes all these noises when we're trying to talk.
That wasn't me.
Oh, okay. Keep going, Greg.
See?
Hey, I take no credit.
Okay. It's not me.
It was doing a great job too, John, and it all fell apart.
Yeah, I know. Okay, John. Take two. Snap. I need my little clicker thing. Take two.
Action.
Oh, come on, Belinda. Seriously?
I didn't do it that time. I mean, oops.
Aha.
That was not me either.
That wasn't me, though. That time wasn't me. It was the first time was.
This is like kindergarten.
Yes, it is.
Okay, John, go ahead.
I'm sorry, John. Go ahead. Sorry.
I'll attempt this again. Thank you once again, ladies and gentlemen, for joining.
I'm gonna mute everybody in this room. You guys stop that so get this one started.
It's not me.
Yeah, I think it is you.
I think it's Belinda.
Live chat, you know, and yes, please remember to do 3 very important things.
Thank you, Michael. Where'd everybody go?
I muted myself to prove
You ninny, you muted John.
I did not mute John. John's not muted.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
Anyway, do those things. Right?
Subscribe, like, and comment is what he said. Okay.
Yeah, and write, you know, in the chat part, ask questions. Excuse me. Tell us what we should talk about and stuff like that.
Yeah, come on.
And,
like treat us like you're, you know, B word. Tell us what to do. Tell us the way you like it. 3 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. I'm gonna rush this along. I gotta get that fan turned on.
Help me.
I'm not kidding. It's 31 degrees right now Celsius in this room. It's 88 Fahrenheit. I gotta get that fan turned on. Bye, everybody.
God bless everybody. Toodaloo.